What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we are going to be doing a video in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM, and we are going to be doing another tier. This is going to be the final reposition tier list for the month of May, and it is going to be the best point guard, centers in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. So yeah, basically it's only going to be primary centers. A lot of good power forwards that can play the center position are not on this list. They will be on the power forward position or power forward tier list, which I made yesterday. So yeah, that is pretty much it. And if you guys disagree, that is fine. Also, because I play a lot more next gen than current gen, and even though it's funny, there's a lot of these guys I have not even used on. I've only used on current gen, even though I play mostly next gen. But that's just kind of the way that I'm going to be basing it off. I'm going to try base it off both gens. Like, for example, if there's a player, like, he's not a center, but like, just for example, like Darren Williams from point guards, who was like god tier on next gen, but awful on current gen. I'm going to not put them in S tier, but there's a few guys that are great on current gen and awful on next gen as well. So it is very, very tough as to where to put those guys. So now let's get on to it. First of all, we got Mel Daniels. A. He's definitely not S. I think putting Mel Daniels in S is way too high because he is like the definition of an A tier player. He's good. Don't get me wrong, like, he can go, you can put him in, you can use him in your squad, and you can do pretty well with him. But if you're asking me, is he a top tier card in this game? Right now, I'm going to have to say no. I'm going to have to say no. He's good, though. He's good, and he's definitely a card that I had a lot of fun with, and I don't regret getting. Bogut. E-D. D. Let's go with D tier for Andrew Bogut. Again, Bogut is a not good shooter. He gets boards, though, I guess. It's trying to find reasons for why he's not awful. There's really not that many of them, but yeah, let's just say Bogut is a bad opal, but as a card, he's not horrendous. You can't forget he is the second highest possible tier. Anthony Davis, B tier. Yeah, I think B tier is probably fair for him. He is a shooter. And again, I know a lot of people are big fans of the new Anthony Davis, who I'm going to put him in S tier. He's definitely top 5. I think it's hard to argue that he's not a top 5 center in the game. So for me, he's going to go into here, into he's going to go into S tier. But the other AD, I mean, he doesn't offer much except catch and shoot. Like, defensively, at this stage in the game, he doesn't offer a lot. Not unusably bad on defense, but I'm still not going to say he offers much on that end of the floor. But he was great for his time, and he was like a defining player of the year. Considering, in fact, everyone around him 250, so B tier. Gilmore, oh, he's so bad. That's all I can say. If you guys know my hatred for Artis Gilmore, it is so high. I hate him so much. Not sure there's a card I hate as much as Artis Gilmore in this game. He's like the new Ben Wallace. The other Ben Wallace redeemed Ben Wallace. Sabonis. I don't know. Is A tier? Is that too high for Sabonis? A tier? Or B tier? No, B tier is definitely not too high. But I don't know if he's B or A. I'm going to stick a B, but he might get moved up. He might get moved up because he is a solid enough player. Ben Wallace, I don't think he's as good as AD. And I'm not sure he's quite as good as Sabonis, but like, he plays defense. Can't really shoot it. I'll move him down to C, but he might get moved up. Bill Russell. At this stage of the game, Bill Russell's a D tier player. He had his time. He was actually half decent for his time. I will say that when he first came out at the very start of Season 4, he was okay. Like, I wouldn't have said spend 750 tokens, but I don't advise anyone to ever spend 750 tokens on a card. He was alright when he came out in Season 4. But the problem is, he's like, imagine if Ben Wallace... I can't put him in the same tier as Ben Wallace. He's like, imagine if Ben Wallace couldn't dribble and had a much worse release. At set shot 17. So, like, imagine if they gave Ben Wallace a significantly worse release and also completely nerfed his ball handling. Yes, I get it. The burst is the burst on current gen. On current gen, there's not that much of a difference. But there is a significant difference on next gen between Ben Wallace and Bill Russell that I can't justify putting them in the same tier. So, then we got Bill Walton. Again, I've not used Bill Walton, but you can see by looking at his stats that he does not belong. I mean, he can curry on next gen, and he does not belong in the top 5 or 6, and we're not going to go... Is he a top 10 center? Probably. He probably is. Like, is he better than like an Eddie Curry? I'm going to say probably. But the problem is that, like, is he comparable to that AD? I mean, would you compare him? Yeah. I think he's closer to Mel Daniels than he is to Anthony Davis. But, yeah, he's not as good as Maravich was for his time anyway. Bob Lanier, B. Bit of a bad release. Like, the question is, like, is he better than Moses Malone? Like, stats-wise, he's way better than Moses Malone. Stats-wise, he is significantly better, and his release is significantly worse, though. But I've played against him, and I've had a lot more trouble dealing with him at this stage than Anthony Davis, so I'll put him in the same tier. Bol S. I'm not quite sure if he's S on current gen. He may or may not be S on current gen. But you better believe Bol is S tier on next gen. And again, he's the best. He's just the best. I don't care what anyone says, he's just the best. His movement is just different. It's just different. We got a lot of guys that can move. Even Pokashevsky, those guys. Man, Bol's just different than all of them. He's different than all of them, so he's S tier. Charles Oakley. C. Not as good as Lanier. Not unusable, though. Not unusably bad. To be fair, though, like, I don't think any of these cards have been are unusably bad, like, especially if you're just playing, like, unlimited. Like, if I was, for example, doing, like, a squad builder challenge and I had to use any of these cards, I wouldn't really be upset. There's no, like, really bad players we've seen yet. And for that reason, I'm going to go to the really bad players. Because, well, why not? Okay, so let's go to the not great players now. And let's fill out the bottom tiers. Alright. Do we have to move other players? Cayman. I'm sorry, Cayman stinks. Yo, you're going E tier only because you're 7'6". Because the only reason you are not worthless. You can't move. But I will say this though. On next gen, Yao's pretty quick. He is pretty speedy because of his height and of how skinny he is. And that's one of the big things about this game. If a player is really, really skinny in game, 2K a lot of the time, especially next gen, and they're really tall, they will run super fast. So Yao Ming feels like his speed. It doesn't feel. He's not like he's this unbelievable speedy player that he's the he's the new like god tier fastest center in the game. But his speed feels like it's about 85 and it's 68. So yeah, because of again next gen, your E tier. Yeah, E tier. Then who else do we want in the low tiers? Like Cat's nowhere near. I don't like Cat, but like Cat's not in one of the lower tiers. Wendell Carter Jr. is going E tier. Mo Bamba is going E tier as well. These guys. I like these guys a lot more than most people do. I think Wendell Carter Jr. is the best Ruby center in the game. Most people will say that it is, in fact, Mo Bamba. And it doesn't matter which one is right or wrong. They're both very, very solid Ruby centers. And for those weeks unlimited, they deserve to be used by a lot of players. Okay. Steven Adams. I mean, some people argue he plays defense. He's worse in my opinion than Bogut. So I'm going to put Steven Adams in E tier. Again, If you want to put Bogut down, maybe that's probably the best spot for him. He might get moved down. All right, so is there any other players in worthless tier? Or do we got to bring some of these E tier players down to worthless? Like, Cantor's not that bad on offense. I mean, Wilt kind of sucks. I'm going to put Wilt to D tier. I'm going to move Bogut down. I'm going to move these two guys down. But it's tough because they're the best at their at their respective tiers, though. Like, those two guys are the best centers at their tier, so it's tough to put them worthless because, again, they might be useful in some limited weekends. But at the same time, if limited weekend is every player must have won 5 rings, then Bill Russell's still kind of worth something. So you just never know with limited, so I can't really judge a player solely based on that game mode because, again, they might just go to overalls like they did last season where there's no actual restrictions. Okay. Anyone else really low? I don't mind Costa. I do not mind Mini Giannis. They literally just gave him Giannis' player build. I do not mind Mini Giannis. He's not as good as like Precious Achiuwa or Matt Bonner, but he's still not half bad. So for me, I know a lot of people expect him to be in a lower tier. I'm not going to put Kristaps. I'll put Kristaps in D tier. I don't like that Kristaps card at all. There's just something about him. I think later in the year we could get a good Kristaps, but unfortunately this card is not it. I'm thinking surely we have to get a good Kristaps. Like, he's got everything you need. He's got good height, a decent wingspan, and he's also got a really, really skinny player build. There's no reason why Kristaps, if they give him quick dribble style, shouldn't be the new Bol Bol. Obviously, they're probably going to make him a Dark Matter, so he'll be a lot more expensive than Bol Bol. But still, that's not what we're worried about. We're just talking about the best cards. We're not really focusing on price here. But yeah, so we have got Kristaps in that tier. But I do think I'm going to say Kristaps is going to be good this year. Trust me. Okay. I didn't realize I got 2 cats in here. Anyone else belong in the low tiers? I mean, Cantor's probably not as good as Kristaps, so let's put Cantor in E tier. Cantor was great, though, getting Nurkic. He needed to do a bunch of stuff with Portland Trailblazers centers, and he was actually not bad for that. So Chris Boucher, C tier. Chris Boucher is going into C tier right now. I think he was really good for his time. Like, he came out pre-250, and we did see a couple of people in the 250k tournament actually run the card. So that was like a sign back in those days if a card was elite or not. If you were seeing people run him in 250k, then you knew, okay, this is a very solid card if one of the best players in the world is running him. Although it was Cold Winter that was running him, who really kind of struggled in the actual tournament itself. But still, Boucher did pretty well. David Robinson, I'm going to have to say A, but he's probably better than Walton. He's definitely better than Mel Daniels. So this is a really, really tough one for me, where to put him. Because, man, I grinded so much for him, and I fully do not regret the grind. Because he's been in my triple threat squad. I have a diamond contract on him. I'm a big fan of that card. I reckon I'll probably regret the grind for JR. Like, it's highly likely I regret the grind for J.R. Smith, because I did basically all of that in the last 2 days. But I most definitely will not regret the grind for D-Rob. But right now, I think he's A tier. Boogie Cousins, C. If I've got these guys here, Boogie Cousins is definitely, like, just looking at the way my tiers are right now, Boogie definitely belongs here in C tier. Okay. Dirk Nowitzki, B. Although, if you're on next gen, Dirk's A tier. Dirk is shifty dribble style. If you're on next gen, Dirk is way better on next gen than current gen. Dirk with that shifty dribble style, I'm telling you, it's just different the way he moves. Everything is about movement in this game, honestly, especially on next gen. These players don't all move the same. Movement is key, lads. And I'm telling you, Dirk Nowitzki's movement is absolutely top tier with the ball. Like, you guys, just be glad. Just be glad that this card can't curry slide. Because if he was curry sliding at the very start of the season, it would have been awful for us. Demantis Sabonis C tier. I think this version of Sabonis is C, and I'm going to put the other version of Sabonis in B tier. I do very much like the Opal Sabonis. The difference is, again, like, I think the Opal one, does he have half showtime? There are a few, like, minor differences. The Opal one has basically got every single badge you need. I think they both have got hot blinders as well. And one of them has base 10 on quick, one has base 10 on very quick. Base 10 is an iffy release on either. Like, I liked it on Novak. It's just a bit weird with Sabonis. Still, like, there are a lot of worse releases out there. So, like, I wouldn't be too put off a card because of base 10, but it's better off to catch. I wouldn't really create with him. He does have the shifty dribble style, which allows him to move really, really well. On next gen and on current gen, obviously, he can speed burst, which allows him to glitch past everybody because the speed burst is broken. To be fair, there's too many exploits on next gen to count as well. But yeah, I'm gonna put the bonuses in different tiers. We got Eddie Curry, who I'm putting in A tier. I think Eddie's the worst player in A tier right now, but I still love that card. Again, he's good on current gen. He's excellent on next gen. Like, if you're comparing the two Eddie Curry's, like, his release base 38 is mediocre on current gen. It's fast, but it's mediocre in terms of timing. But on next gen, it's one of the best. So Eddie freaking Curry, lads, is going into A tier. And it's mad, like, this card last May, about around this time last year, I think it was like the 3rd of May or something, I made a top 100 list. And Eddie Curry was #1 on that list last year. And this card is better than last year's card. And right now, this card isn't even S tier for his position. As it shows how many ridiculously OP centers we've had in the game this year. Whereas last year, we didn't get it. Like, Eddie Curry would have been the best center in the game in June last year. I'm telling you, this year, they completely juiced up centers. I don't know why, but centers got completely juiced up in my team. And the fact that Eddie Curry's not only he's not even top tier, he's not even the best player in the 2nd tier. It's just a testament to just how much they've juiced up centers. Giannis S. Definitely best to be played at power forward, but I mean, his movement on both gens is exceptional. His lane playing is exceptional. His shooting's really good. I really like that release, especially on current gen. We have got Giannis Antetokounmpo in S tier. All right. Then we got Hakeem C. You can argue B. You can definitely argue B. I think Hakeem is closer to the other Sabonis than I think he is to the good Sabonis. So I'm going to put him into this tier. I think Hakeem is a little bit better than Chris Boucher. I think he's a little bit worse than AD. So I'm going to put him into this tier. I know a lot of you guys will probably want him to be 1 tier higher, but yeah, this is my list. The thing he was best at, which was post hooking, got patched. Then we have got Jack Sigma. D, but it's close. D, but it's very close. He's the best player in D right now, and it's not even close. But he would also be the worst player in C, and I don't want to overcrowd C tier. So, yeah, let's put him in D tier. We got Jaren Jackson Jr., B or A. Man, if you didn't get this card last season, I would say you missed out, but like Eddie Curry and Mo Bamba are like 12, 13K combined, so you really did miss out on much. But you also did miss out at the same time. He's fantastic. He's absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, A tier for him. JaVale McGee. Man. Badged up, he's A. Sorry, he's B. He needs some badges. And he also doesn't, like, yeah, he needs, like, range and stuff. But, man, if he's going to be sitting corner, like, if he's going to sit in the corner for you, the guy is perfectly fine to use if he's just going to sit in your corner. You don't need to worry about that if he's just going to sit in the corner. So, yeah, let's put him into B tier. I definitely don't think he's A. I don't think he's Eddie Curry good, but I think B tier is a fair spot for him. John Collins, C. Lacks a lot of key badges, and you can't really run him a center because he's too small. Good shooter, though. Really good shooter. Julius Randle, B. Julius Randle is like a slightly better version of John Collins. Collins does have a good few flaws. Mainly the fact that I'm pretty sure he's only got like 40-something total badges. And he was also an RNG-based card, which was very, very annoying. Can't say he's not good, though. So, C tier. Yusuf Nurkic. Like, a lot of people are going to want to say C tier. I'm putting Yusuf Nurkic in D tier. I don't like him. 70 ball handle. Yeah, it's good enough to use him on next gen. He's a shifty dribble style. Don't, like, I think that Boogie release. And I mean, I think I take Boogie over him. I really do. I think Boogie's a lot better than him on current gen. On next gen, I would probably take Nurkic over him, but it's close. But let's put Nurkic in D tier. Nurkic isn't bad, though. Kareem. Kareem. A tier. Best in A tier. Even if you give him half range, I'm going A tier for Kareem. I think Giannis is better. I think Bol is better. I think Anthony Davis. Is Anthony Davis better than Kareem, though? Oh, these are the tough ones. These are the tough ones. S tier. And there's one player that's going into S tier that you guys are going to be very confused about. Because he's terrible value, but he is S tier. I'm going to put him in now. So, to calm you guys down. Or so you guys can get your rage out before the end of the video. Ralph Sampson. He just is. He just is. And the difference between Ralph Sampson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is next gen. Current gen, Kareem is better. Ralph Sampson on next gen is as good as Bol. Maybe better than Bol. I've used Ralph Sampson on next gen. The guy is a demigod. Like, we want to talk about other players on next gen, but I'm pretty confident Ralph Sampson's the best. And I hate to say that because I really don't want to like Ralph Sampson. And I really have been hyping up Bol, but like, I've been talking about Bol because I forgot Ralph Sampson existed. I've seen people use him on next gen. The guy is probably, he will be overtaken soon. No doubt. Considering that every center nowadays can curry slide, and they're giving everybody, even guys that are too heavy, like Anthony Davis, to do Pro 6, they're giving everybody Pro 2. I'm telling you, when we get God tier Kristaps, he's going to be probably better than Ralph Sampson. Ralph Sampson, only go quick first step. Yeah, sure. That's something. But like, how hard is it? Like, I'm almost certain quick first step is going to be one of the Hall of Fame badges that are given out this week. Because it's not one of the ones that are in the token market. Yeah, I would be shocked, like, if it's not given out free. Do I advise you to get Ralph Sampson? No. He is slightly better than Bol. Slightly better than Bol, who's 100k compared to Ralph Sampson's million MT. Just take that into account. I'm telling you, probably don't get this card, but he's S tier. Karl Anthony Towns. C. Like, he's better than the guys in D. Not as good as the guys in B. C. Karl Malone. D. He's too small. He's 6'9". Like, you could get away with him a little bit in 250 times. Like, you could get away with him during the 250k because most people were running a 6'10 Anthony Davis. He was really struggling against Hakeem, but not many people ran Hakeem. Most people in 250k were running a 6'10 Anthony Davis and a 6'10 Moses Malone. And you could get away with a 6'9 Karl Malone back then. But now you can't when most people are running centers that are 7'2" or taller. Like, yeah, he could maybe get away if you're playing as the good Anthony Davis. Man, not against anybody else. Kevin Durant. Like, this is a tough one. I'm going to put him in A tier, even as a center, because I don't actually think he's that bad as a center.
I actually don't think he's that bad. He's kind of cheesy. He can handle the ball. And if you want to go for one of those all-offensive strategies and just completely blow out your opponent on scoring every time, he's actually not too bad. Especially on his movement is unbelievable on next gen. Again, he's 6'10", skinny build with the shifty dribble style. Like, I've been talking about Kevin Durant's movement on next gen since November. It's only been the last 2 or 3 months or last probably month or so where we figured out how important quick and shifty dribble style are. But yeah, Kevin Durant, I'm gonna put him in A tier. Would not use him as center, would use him at the 2, but he's got to be on this list, so he's there. Kevin McHale, low C. He's okay. He's like low C. Oh, we've got a fairly normally distributed tier list anyway, but yeah, he's kind of low C. Costa Antetokounmpo, D. He has no range, yes, but he can get it. But I wouldn't put it on him. He's basically, he moves kind of like Giannis. He's got a really good release. His length is pretty nice. He's a shooter. He's an all-around good card. Like, he is a good card. He's definitely not as anywhere near as good as like a Bol Bol, or he's not as good as a Matt Bonner, Precious Achiuwa, who came out in the same set as him. But he is came out say 2 weeks earlier on the same tier. But he's nice. He's good. Magic Johnson. I mean, I have to put him in the middle, don't I? Because he's just like, he's good, but he's not a center. Like, if this was a point guard, he'd be good. Like, he's slightly better version of the Opal point guard, but yeah, Magic. He's only meh. He's only meh. I've used him on power forward and he's been alright. It's funny though, like, if this was NBA 2K like 18, I'd be using Magic at power forward. I used Magic at power forward. 2K 15, Magic Johnson at power forward was like my thing. The Chris Move tactic. Isn't it mad that we used to actually all take advice from what way to use our team from Chris Move. Man, that was a fun time on YouTube. Mark Eaton, trash can. He's 7'4" and can rebound, so I might put him in E tier, but he is an absolute trash can. He's terrible. Marvin Bagley, I mean, even badged up, he's D. He's not terrible though. Like, you could definitely argue him up at C. I'll put him D, but you can argue higher. Matt Bonner. If you're on current gen, I'm sticking with Matt Bonner in B tier. Matt Bonner is godly. And I'm going to bring up some of the stats right now to prove it. So, first of all, we all know Klay Thompson's how good Klay Thompson's release is. It's actually better. I will admit it's better on current gen than it is on next gen. But let's take a look here at Matt Bonner. Let's take a look here at Matt Bonner, lads. So, we've got Bonner now on the screen. Hot zones everywhere. 19 huffs. 91 speed, 91 acceleration, 96 3 ball. 6'10" with a 7'3" wingspan. He's got 88 perimeter defense, 95 driving dunk, half showtime, half range, half clamps, all the goal defensive badges, half quick first step. If you were on next gen, he can curry slide. Unfortunately, he has the slasher dribble style. Klay Thompson with a Kevin Love upper, which is great in the Pro 5 behind the back. Now let's compare him to Anthony Davis, who is in the same tier as him. 2 extra half badges on Anthony Davis. He has got 1 less goal though. In terms of stats, Anthony Davis is plus 62. A lot of those stats are in pass. 12 are in pass perception. 11 is in help defensive IQ. Does nothing in game. 6 are in passing vision. Yes, the rebounding advantage is a bit of a big one, and if you want to play them at center, I would probably take Anthony Davis. But like, let's not kid ourselves. Bonner's faster. Bonner is as good an overall card. A little bit shorter wingspan. Is he as good as Anthony Davis? I mean, I think, in my opinion, yes, but you are well within your right to argue no. But it's not a significant difference. Heck, he's better than Bob Lanier. I've got Bob Lanier up here. He's better than him. Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba's going B tier as well. Mo Bamba is very solid. He's got that 85 strength. He's got that ultra long wingspan, the Dino-esque player build, where he's going to be the best rebounder in the game on current gen. The way the Dino build, the slender, the like skinniest possible build with max wingspan, those guys snag every board and get every block in current gen. And on next gen, skinny builds equals move faster. He moves super fast, even though he has slasher dribble style. He moves so fast. So Mo Bamba, good shooter, overall good card. Wouldn't look to create with him, but B tier. Moses Malone, C, but high C. He's better release than Anthony Davis. Really good on current gen, just not it on next gen, so I'm gonna put him on B tier. Miles Turner, C. He's like equivalent to a cat. He's all right. Jokic, B. Wherever Dirk is, Jokic is. Like, simple as that. Wherever Dirk is, Jokic is. Although I will say, the more I've been using Dirk, and the more I've been like looking into Dirk, and I've used him a good few times on next gen to try him out, Dirk is better on next gen. Vucevic, C. Like, he's mad. Like, he's definitely in the middle. Got some nice stats. His release is pretty bad. Pow, C. How many C tier players are we gonna have for the rest of this list? Precious Achua, C. He's undersized. He's really good though. He's a power forward. If you were to ask me to run one power forward out of all these guys on this C tier, give me Achua. Not a center. He's too small though. He's too small to run a center. He's way better than Karl Malone, by the way. Then we've got Rick Smits. Post hook patch means I'm gonna have to put Rick Smits in C tier. I'm gonna put Taco in B tier. Like, the post hook patch nerfed Taco. Taco was an A tier player. No, he wasn't S tier. He was an A tier player, but you can't shoot post hooks anymore. So I'm gonna put Taco Fall into B tier and Rick Smits into C tier. And then I'm gonna put Sim Vular into C tier as well. As much as Sim Vular having half range, you'd think would be such a big thing. He's like very similar level to like a Rick Smits. And still, I would much rather use a Sim. Does Nurkic belong in D tier? Is Nurkic... Maybe he doesn't belong. Maybe Sigma doesn't. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it as is. Shaq. Dude can't shoot. The guy cannot shoot. So I'm going to put Shaq in E tier. I know a lot of people would say Shaq should be in a higher tier than this. I mean, we've got an S tier Shaq. Maybe this will appease all the Shaq users out there. We've got an S tier Shaq. And if we're talking next gen, I'm not sure which... I'm not sure. If I want to put 5 on this list, I might have to move somebody down. Because Wilt is also S tier. I think... Man, this is a tough one. To actually run at the center position, if I'm on next gen, I'm taking Samson. If I'm on current gen, I'm taking Shaq or Wilt. Maybe Kareem. But before the post hook patch, Kareem definitely was god tier with the Skyhook, but they patched post hooks. Alright, so Zebo, B tier. I have not used Zebo, but I've seen his like stats and stuff, and on next gen, the fact that the dude's gonna be out here like curry sliding and dunking on everybody and lockdown defender is unbelievable. And I've also tested out Zebo release on very quick. It's not good, but it's not unusable, and I think B tier is the right spot for him. Then Spencer Haywood, I know some people like him, so I'm gonna put him in C tier. I did not like him. He's good on current gen, he's not good on next. Wes Unseld, B tier. Again, I'm not as high on Wes Unseld as most people are. So, I'm going to try Will S tier down to 5. Anthony Davis, the first one to go down. So, guys that I will not move down. Bobo. Reem. I'm sorry, Reem. You're going out of the top 5. So, we've got Bobo, Samson, Giannis, Shaq, and Wilt. I'm going to get a lot of hate for that top 5, but it's just... And again, I'm going to get so much hate because Ralph Sampson is so expensive. Do not buy Ralph Sampson. If I was to tell you guys to avoid one player on this list, outside of ever using Artis Gilmore or spending 1,000 tokens on Bill Walton, I would say Ralph Sampson. They are the 3 guys that would just advise you guys most against using on this list, but... You can't deny he's a god on next gen. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. So these are my top 5. This is my A tier, my B tier, my C tier, my D tier, my E tier, and my worthless tier. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.